What conspiracy theory do you completely believe is true? A lot of rich people help terrorism and movements to destabilize a nation or a region to make money from its resources or people. In my home city, in the UK, a heroin dealer was convicted of lacing his product with poison and causing the deaths of homeless people. In court he claimed that the local council paid him off to get rid of some of the homeless people in that way. His defense was, why would I kill my customers? I have met one person that worked with the council and believes the story to be true, and years later I met some people that had worked with a homeless charity at the time. They claimed they knew it was the case, but there was nothing they could do to prove it, expose it. I remember when conspiracy theories were confined to obscure, late-night radio shows like Art Bell. They were interesting and fun but never really intersected with real life too much. Since 9/11 and the rise of social media, there are conspiracy theories about everything, and they are having an increasing influence on politics, everyday life. In fact, a lot of them are actively promoted to have just such an effect. That Britney Spears is either being held hostage or otherwise in a very compromised situation. Something is going on with Bryan Singer. He's been accused of sexual assault multiple times in the past few decades, but nothing ever came of it. Guy was hosting parties with young men, potentially underage boys, and people like Kevin Spacey, and has been accused of molesting children. I'm not one for conspiracies, but he clearly has friends in high places that went to these parties and keep giving him work and burying the allegations when they come up, or he has dirt on them. Seems like more people are finally talking about how shitty he is, but I never understood why these stories didn't get more attention. This one pertains to my university, but some people may have the same experiences with theirs. So students who choose my university send applications in by December. The entire COVID shutdown happens in March, around the same time university acceptances are starting to be sent out. Each first-year student has guaranteed residence. Everyone is wondering what the new teaching model will be, and it's announced that it's mixed. 30% in person, 70% online. At this point, if you're in first year, and all your courses are online, why pay for residence? You can do class online. But the university sees these discussions, and know they'll lose a lot of money if they don't have students in residence. So what is announced? Almost every first year has at least one person class. Meaning, they have to be on campus. Meaning, they have to live in residence. I don't know if this makes sense to anyone, but I thought it was interesting. Just a casual fan of this one, but that Christopher Walken knows whether Natalie Wood's death was an accident or not. Bill didn't cheat on Hillary, they have an open marriage where they can do what they want whilst traveling around for work. Reason for the infidelity lie? It's easier for the American population to accept a president making a mistake infidelity than to accept a swinging president/first lady. I'm in the Navy and we change uniforms a lot compared to other branches. There's a conspiracy theory that there's a rear admiral whose wife has stocks in the company that makes our uniform. I just randomly heard someone talking about it. I have zero evidence that it's true, but I 100% believe it. Edit, told this to my co-worker who added to the conspiracy cause he said the people who sell our uniforms is run by a rear admiral. The plot thickens. Edit 2, apparently there's more people saying there's more to the conspiracy, so if you see this be sure to head into the replies and give them some upvotes. College Board isn't non-profit. Fort Knox has no gold in it. Shelley Miscavige is either dead or being held prisoner by the Church of Scientology. J. Edgar Hoover had ties to the mob and gave preferential treatment to certain crime families/organizations while crushing others. Also, his stranglehold on American intelligence made him a figure presidents feared. Everyone I tell about this tells me I'm overreacting and it's just a conspiracy. But I strongly believe large companies who use eco-friendly products around customers only do it to make themselves look good, and to make the customer feel like pollution is their fault when they use, for example, plastic straws. When in reality using eco-friendly straws barely dents the amount of pollution the company itself makes behind the scenes. Conspiracy theories seem to pale in their outlandishness when compared to actual history. The Big Mac has gotten smaller so McDonald's saves some money. I dunno, but I swear the Big Mac used to be bigger. Or maybe I am just fatter. All that stupid stuff shared on Facebook is just a way for people to mine your information for forgotten passwords, resets and stuff. Things like bet no one remembers the street they grew up on. I'll wait. Or what would your name be if you took your mom's name instead of your dad's? Editing to add instead of replying to everyone. Thank you guys for making me feel so much less paranoid. None of my friends agreed with me that that's what those posts were for and made me feel like a paranoid nutcase for even suggesting it. I'm glad to know me being overly cautious and ignoring them makes sense to others. Not a specific theory, but I have no doubt that the majority of leaks for the entertainment industry, video games, movies, TV, etc., are completely purposeful and meant to gauge general opinions before official announcements. Edit, spelling. Thanks for my first ever awards. Britney is the highest profile Disney rape victim we might probably ever know about. Her mental breaks were the result of sexual and physical abuse from her handlers, her parents, and people she worked with at Disney. The conservatorship she's been trying to get lifted is one designed to keep her silent, because the momentum of the #MeToo movement as well as the high-profile cases against Hollywood folks will result in a huge financial hit to Disney. If we hear that Britney couldn't take it anymore and killed herself, it's most likely the result of everyone in her life trying to control and manipulate her, and they will likely kill her under guise of suicide. Maybe not Tupac. But at least one celebrity has faked their death and is still out there. Well, the government is listening to everyone's phone calls and reading our emails was once considered a conspiracy theory, and we all know how that turned out. Nintendo isn't accidentally leaking source codes. They want to see how much interest their flagship franchises get, and from there they decide which games to push. Pokemon Gold version's lost beta/demo from Space World 97 is found and people lose their minds. Huge push for Pokemon and stoking the flames of the rumored, now confirmed, Pokemon Diamond/Pearl/Platinum remakes. Super Mario 64 gets the iceberg and the source code leaked, people lose their damn minds. Suddenly they're releasing Super Mario 3D All-Stars with Super Mario 64 on it. This is the smallest conspiracy ever, but, you know how when you pull a tissue out of a box, there's this dust that comes out from the tissue when it scrapes the perforated edge? I swear it's designed like that so that the dust makes you sneeze. And then suddenly you need more tissues. Rise up against big tissue. A lot of entertainment companies are money laundering fronts. The Department of Transportation bought way too many orange barrels, so most of them have to be stored on highways. That Area 51 is heavily involved with unidentified flying objects. The only difference being that said unidentified flying objects have been designed, built, and tested by the United States Air Force. Edit. To the 324 Redditors who have pointed out that this isn't a conspiracy. Thank you. I still to this day believe that for every sock that goes missing in your dryer it turns into a Tupperware lid in your cabinet that fits nothing. I have seen no evidence to disprove this. Erdogan has manipulated the renegade part of his army to reveal themselves. I was on the fence about this one until I watched The Last Narc, but now I absolutely believe the theory about the CIA being responsible for the death of DIA agent Kiki Camarena. His death in 1985 helped spark the war on drugs because he was allegedly murdered by Mexican drug traffickers and the DFS, which was a largely corrupt police force at the time. However, some people think the CIA actually murdered him, or at least helped the drug cartel kidnap him. There are multiple witnesses who were there during his murder who place a CIA agent there. The motive would have been because Agent Camarena was close to uncovering the Iran-Contra affair, or something similar involving the CIA using drug money to fund arms sales. The evidence presented in the doc is pretty damning, and I was fully expecting someone to have discredited the witnesses or called out shoddy research or something after it came out, because it's just so wild. But so far everything presented seems on the up and up. The Hawaii false missile alert was an experiment in how mass people would react knowing they're about to die. Conversely, that we're all about to die and all this political show malarkey is a distraction. But I'm also schizophrenic, so give it a minute before I start thinking the walls are pissed off at me or some shit. Ghislaine Maxwell was one of the most prolific posters on Reddit, and had an account that was, at the time, the 8th highest karma in the history of the site. The account stopped posting the day that Maxwell was arrested, and has had many notable posting absences that coincide with Maxwell's important life moments, notably her mother dying and the Reddit party that Ellen Pao mentioned seeing Ghislaine at. The account mentioned having a birthday in late December, after the 21st, while Maxwell's is given as the 25th. The account often posted regarding the legalization of child pornography and child protection laws, but never mentioned Epstein despite the political subs they moderated. While certain other mods have made claims that they are still in contact with the account, various other inconsistencies seem to invalidate that, such as them claiming that they were from a certain country, but not knowing that country's national dish. Not mentioning too many specifics to prevent brigading, but you can find more info elsewhere. Reddit is run by a single college student that has no clue how to make a search bar. The biggest companies in the world own the government. Not the other way around. Saudi Aramco, for example. High-end art is a scheme to launder money and avoid taxes. We can't afford to own a house like previous generations because money laundering ruined the cost of living. Edit, wow, thank you for the gold. That the Sonic original design was to get people to complain about it and get it popular. The government doesn't want you to know, but ducks are free. You can just take them. Automobile and oil companies have been working to impede or hide developments in renewable energy solutions. That the CIA let JFK get assassinated. The government constantly reposts this question to see what we know. I got a pretty harmless one. Stevie Wonder can see. The world's elites are in on it, which almost got blown open when George W. Bush waved at him. Edit, big thanks to all my Stevie Wonder truthers out there. Thank you all for this interesting dialogue. The CIA is responsible for the crack epidemic. Not completely, but that whole humanity resets every 7,000 years due to some big chance do be looking believable as of now. The government is spying on us, the Patriot Act is terrible, and somebody is most likely watching me right now. Oh, wait, I forgot, that one was already proven. Tommy Wiseau is D.B. Cooper. For those of you who don't know, D.B. Cooper is a famous American thief. Aboard a plane flying from Seattle, Washington to Mexico City, before the plane was over Reno, Nevada, D.B. Cooper robbed everyone on the plane, took all of the parachutes and jumped put of the plane. And was never seen again. Nobody knew his name, and he spoke with a strange accent. Tommy Wiseau showed up seemingly randomly, with a ton of money, has been said to be older than he says he is, and speaks with a strange accent. At one point people found a ton of money which was said to be D.B.'s ransom money or stash, and the guy they were investigating didn't look much like him, and the evidence was never convincing and the whole attempt was some History Channel bullshit. Tommy Wiseau, however, fits the bill. As somebody who works for the government, I believe conspiracy theories are the ultimate conspiracy. They send the message that there is some invisible hand controlling things, meaning there's nothing you can do to change it. Drug companies could easily get male birth control to market. That there is a circle of cultural terrorists that whisper conspiracy theories to some gullible people and are the origin of most conspiracy theories that go around sowing mistrust between factions. Credit is social rating like Black Mirror. You're muted and downvoted if it is negative. I'm pretty sure the U.S. government knows things about UFOs that they aren't telling us. That's not to say I believe UFOs are alien spacecraft. I don't know what they are. I am still to this day skeptical that a low-level hood like Jack Ruby, a man with ties to organized crime, and at a time when J. Edgar Hoover was giving no attention to organized crime, that Ruby, owner of a strip club, would be so incensed over the shooting of JFK, would be motivated above all others to assassinate Lee Harvey Oswald. It defies any logic. The Rebecca Black song Friday is about the JFK assassination. The driver of the car he was assassinated in's name was Samuel Kickin, Kickin in the front seat, Sidin in the back seat. The assassination occurred on a Friday, and when he was shot the Secret Service yelled at Jackie Kennedy to get down, got to get down on Friday. Parts about the Cold War and the spread of communism are referenced, everybody's Russian, and to top it all off, in the hotel that morning JFK declined a breakfast of sausage, eggs and toast for a bowl of bran flakes instead, got to have my bowl, get to have cereal. Also, the following Monday JFK was supposed to sign a bill into law requiring all public schools to provide bus transportation for their students, got to catch my bus. Calling healthcare workers heroes is a deliberate ploy by the powers that be, so that at the of all this COVID and there is a pile of us dead, the conversation isn't about how the government and hospitals fussed up, but our heroic sacrifice. Computer virus protection companies create computer viruses. The third shot that hit JFK was fired by a Secret Service member. But, it was entirely an accident. The motorcade surrounding him was full of Secret Service. Some were standing up on the seats. When the first shot was fired, they were all on high alert, fingers on the trigger, looking around. The drivers all hit the brakes. A guy standing up in the back lurched forward and pulled the trigger by accident. This shot hit the president. He had already been hit twice and was pretty much toast, so it didn't matter. But they covered it up. I like it as a conspiracy theory because it reduces such an important mystery to a pure human accident. Which is what a lot of historical events are. The lost cosmonauts. I think it's absolutely possible that there were attempts by the CCCP to launch manned aircraft into space before Gagarin and that some of the cosmonauts died. The government was behind #Throwback Thursday in order to get us to digitize and upload pictures that they would not have had access to in order to help improve age progression/facial recognition algorithms. The U.S. and other world leaders aren't some genius masterminds, with infinite knowledge, resources, and information, but are a bunch of people in way over their heads barely keeping their together, with one trip away from everything up. Personally, this terrifies me more than if they were evil masterminds, at least those are in control. Ancestry DNA and the rest of those ancestry websites are run by the government to have access to people's DNA to cross-reference crimes, etc. I don't know if it counts as a conspiracy theory, but I like to think the multiverse theory is true. The UFO footage that just got released recently was a purposeful distraction from current events. The US military is a huge lobbyist behind not adopting socialized healthcare and college because those are the two main reasons that people join the military. With socialized healthcare and college, recruit numbers would plummet, and we would no longer be the military powerhouse that we currently are. United 93 was shot down. It sounds crazy, but I'm getting a sneaking suspicion that the Earth just might be spherical after all. When I was in my teens, that Tupac was alive and would come back for an album, I want to say it was the Theory of Sevens or something. I'm a bit more critical of what I read now. While Lee Harvey Oswald did shoot and hit JFK twice, the final, killing shot came from the Secret Service vehicle directly behind the president's vehicle, by accident. The agent carrying the Secret Service's one and only AR-15 at the time stood up when JFK was shot the first two times, and was thrown back in his seat when the car lurched forward, causing him to accidentally shoot the president in the back of the head. Carol Baskin didn't kill her husband. I believe he was heavily involved with drugs, and that's the reason why everything he touched turned to gold. That Flight 93 was shot down by the US military on September 11. If you know that 2 hijacked planes were flown into the WTC and 1 into the Pentagon, and that a 4th hijacked plane is headed for the White House, you take it down. Period. If you can take it down over a rural area, all the more better, which it was. I think they took the best option in a worst-case scenario and made the passengers out to be heroes, and rightfully so, because the people on that plane were already heroes to somebody in their lives. Mattress stores are just money laundering fronts. The official story in the deaths of JFK, Princess Diana and Jeffrey Epstein are lies. We're all puppets and social media and news corporations are the puppet masters. Watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix if you're curious. I'm seriously frustrated at the lack of control that we have and that I have when it comes to social media. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content every day.